Great day.
Okay, we're live. Okay, call this meeting to order. It is 12:04 p.m. This great day in Stephenville, Newfoundland, August 13, 2025. I'd like to have our land acknowledgement cited here. Stephenville and the whole of the Bay St. George area is home to rich, diverse, and vibrant rural Indigenous communities. Located on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk, the lands and waters in and around us have traditionally served as a gathering place for the Mi'kmaq. The broader region of Newfoundland and Labrador continues to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We honor and pay respect to the past, present, and future caretakers of these territories. I would ask the member of council that we approve the agenda as circulated.
Move.
Moved by Councillor Darren Roberts, second. Second, Councillor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, under new business, we have a couple of items. And the requirement to have the special meeting was requirements to get financial statements, bylaw amendment completed, as these are requirements to go to municipal affairs by our management of staff.
One additional item was one to bring up last after.
Okay. So I'll go ahead for number one. The first one will be a rescinding resolution number 25-238. Be it resolved to rescind the town of Stephenville's arrears sale bylaw as approved by resolution number 25-238. We need to make rescind that because we have to do an edit and a change to it as recommended by municipal affairs.
No,
No,
I'm sorry, just let me explain.
okay.
So the initial bylaw, there's a provision for an appeal. So what we have in the arrears sale bylaw is now a process whereby the town council, through the clerk, effectively after 18 months of non-payment of taxes, fees, or other amounts owing to the town, we can initiate a tax sale process. Through that process, if we proceed, there is an appeals process that was left out of the draft that we had used. So now we have not only the appeals process, but the steps that are to be followed in the actual auction that would occur on any non-payment by taxpayers is laid out clearly in the new version of the bylaw.
Okay.
So it makes it clear and fair to all of the local taxpayers who may be so afflicted and what would happen should that happen in their case, and also their ability to appeal a decision taken following the actions that were taken on that particular bylaw.
Okay.
What happened in the past was there was discretion in some form or other. Now, after 18 months, there is no discretion. The clerk shall initiate the bylaw activity for arrears sale.
Not
that's
may, a shall.
Shall.
Okay, so that's clear. So we do have item number one, the resolution. I would ask for a seconder. Second, Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. Any question for clarity? I think that was clearly communicated by our town manager. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that one is rescinded. Item number two now, the town of Stephenville arrears.
Peace.
I don't remember moving.
No, I don't
No, it
think
wasn't
so.
moved.
Did
Okay.
No,
we get?
Tom
I'll
read
move.
it, but I
moved by
don't think it was.
Darren Roberts, second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, item number two will be the town of Stephenville's arrears by sale bylaw. Be it resolved to adopt revised town of Stephenville arrears sale bylaw as circulated. So we'd ask the mover
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, item number 3, this is our audited financial statements that tends to be completed towards the end of June. We are into August now. It is audited financial statements completed that gets submitted to municipal affairs. All municipalities have to follow this procedure. So the approval of the audited financial statement 2024, be it resolved that council hereby adopts the 2024 audited consolidated financial statements. I would ask for a mover of council.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Dan Roberts, second by Councilor Howard. Any question?
Question. As you recall, I asked just to be deferred because you should meet with auditors, and we met with auditors sometime last week. Just a couple points. One, annual expenditure report, that's Canada Community Building Fund. We are showing a shortfall on that report, and auditors adjusted our draft statements to reflect that in our statements, which will be repaid. I don't know if it's repaid now, into the account or not. It's being paid now, because that's supposed to be a separate bank account. Secondly, second thing come to my attention, on our municipal capital works, we don't maintain a separate bank account. And that should be a separate bank account supposed to be maintained by municipal capital works, as required by municipal affairs.
That part, there is a separate accounting for those items, I thought.
It
As
might,
far as that goes.
but you're supposed to have a separate bank account for those monies.
Public Works.
Yep, municipal capital works, each project, by the way.
Okay, now that wasn't brought up in our discussion with the auditor, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I made that observation.
Yeah,
No, the auditors never brought that up whatsoever.
no, they never, and so this is the first we're hearing this.
Yeah, I just
Piece.
reflect from my 35 years of doing town audits. But it is a requirement.
We appreciate.
And
We should have management follow that up with municipal
Certainly,
affairs.
yes.
and as you do
There's
bank
no
accounts.
issue to,
No. And of course, you got to make a motion to council every time you want the bank account.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? And the reason why is that they don't want the monies used for operating, is for
yeah,
that project.
it's only able to be used for what it's,
Prescribed under the MCW program.
That's right.
So, and what happens normally is a claim is received on a project, the claim is processed through municipal affairs, they put the money in the bank account based on the claim, and then it sort of
Yep.
flows through to the contractor. So it's, but whether that part is different from, we do keep a separate, how is that done, Lori, as far as the account for municipal capital works? It's noted, but the money only goes in when a claim goes through,
Yeah, so the claim goes through, then the money goes in our general account.
general account.
And then it's allocated to miscellaneous income, and then we allocate it to the project.
So for the most part, what comes in goes out, the 80% comes from federal, provincial, whatever financial instrument we would use, whether it's budgeted line item or it's a loan that council approves to pick up the other 20%. That's all tracked in and out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Like that.
overall, I missed the meeting. I was on holidays, but apparently the meeting went well with the auditors.
We had a good meeting, we had a good discussion on a number of items,
Good.
which we're
Excellent.
addressing.
Okay, so
And that'll be published also on the town's website, as soon as we, have this approval in place.
okay, so where it's a special meeting, this special meeting of minutes would come to our next public meeting for adoption at that meeting.
No,
No,
this stands on its own.
stands on its own. Okay, so we can submit.
No,
No, I think.
that's the only privilege that goes to.
Yeah.
Oh, adoption, but at the next
Yeah,
proper council meeting, yeah.
yeah. So we won't be able to submit to municipal affairs until we have that meeting. Correct?
Normally, until the minutes are approved.
Yeah.
Which is
Exactly.
usually at the next or
Yeah.
the following meeting, yes, you're right.
Okay, so other than that good question on the audited financial statements, I have to say that very pleased with the financial position of this town. Well managed, good financial accounting within our department. And it's about managing your debt and forecasting asset management for municipal capital works. So for example, this year, since I've been the mayor, is probably our biggest year for municipal capital works. Since I've been the mayor, we had two significant projects, Main Street reconstruction and Rose Avenue reconstruction. So I got a shout out to our public works and management team. They started in April. We were very lucky that contractors were able to start so early and complete them. And the other thing I just want to say is when we complete projects, a company like that we contract the line painting, it's not as if we do it in-house. They're not always available to come the very next day and start doing line painting. So that's being coordinated to our public works so that when they're available, additional line painting and crosswalks will be completed, just for clarity. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Okay, we have something.
One other item. So we have some geotechnical work that needs to be done and environmental site assessments for potential project sites. And we absolutely need to do this. The work is not low cost. It is $39,500. It could be more. The quotation was based on equipment that was in the area. Might have to be an additional mobilization because we couldn't really just award it to them. We wanted to bring this forward to council. There are very limited parties available to do this type of work. We can't award such a contract because it's under the threshold. And so these are for potential projects that are under discussion. The two potential sites at this stage, it could be a variance on that, but one is the site between the heavy equipment facility of CNA and the SPCA. The other site would be potentially near to the town hall area for a project that is under consideration. So this site assessment is not just an overall expense, it's an investment because then these sites have that environmental assessment to go with them if they were used for other purposes, if council should decide such. And also, it also will help us in the overall because we've heard time and again that there are fuel contamination for sites and areas in Stephenville. There's been a lot of conjecture, word of mouth, very little in the way of actual investigation with a proper assessment being done of those. And we have areas where we think this will be overall beneficial to the town, determine if something can be mitigated or properly remediated, and then to determine if those pieces of land can be utilized immediately or with a mitigation strategy. We also intend in the near future to apply for support from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and other sources to seek the big problem of Stephenville being a fueling base for the Air Force. And a lot of those issues may very well fall back on the provincial government as the environmental steward, I suppose, so to speak, of any lands that were inherited from the government of the United States. So that's part of it, but it's not really clear. So it might require us to invest and get eventually either some reimbursement or a program wherein we know the site, we know there's fuel contamination, we go through a remediation process or determine if that remediation process may or may not be of any value. But this initial piece is an important element of projects we are working on, which are not yet concluded, which I hope to be able to advise council of on a privilege basis, because there are commercial sensitivities to some of these items. but also that this will be helpful towards that, but it is something that's very necessary at this stage. And as an investment, will keep us from guessing at some of the potential site locations for future projects.
I just want to say just for clarity, whenever we take on a project and we're looking at capitalizing on the land that the town of Stephenville owns, transferred to us by Newfoundland Lavender Housing, it's encumbered by them in the sense that we have a residual that we have to pay back to them. But so we got a project in play now, and we're just lucky that the equipment and the capacity is localized, that we could get a geotechnical work done. But this is something that there's not a lot of capacity in the province for geotechnical. And some private companies have to go and use geotechnical for their first line, baseline, environmental. But I like the concept and the idea that we're going to look at FCM for additional down the road, because anything that we have, if we can find a way for the federal government to help us pay for the geotechnical, we should have the geotechnical completed on all those lots. So when we have a commercial interest to purchase a piece of land, we're not behind the 8 ball. At least we're ready. It's almost like if money's coming and you got a set of engineering and blueprints ready to do something, you're ready in advance. So I'd really like for management to really look at an FCM. And I do know when airport properties was transferred, even on the east ramp, the federal government held all the environmental responsibilities. And I would think, and that would be a question to the Minister of Environment, the NLHC lands, is it a provincial environmental or is it backstop to the Fed? So we got to dig into
And
that.
some of these will come down to what is the status of a piece of land?
Yeah,
Has it been transferred? Will it be transferred in future? Is it a part of an arrangement? Like we've gone forward with transfers of small pieces of land. And those, they waive the need for the environmental assessment. But in most cases, they will ask for an environmental assessment. And then that causes a series of triggers that, you know, in going forward with a piece of land, is that done? In some cases, an assessment like this being done, it allows for other parties who would come to the table to use this to say no further environmental assessment required.
I assume this is a possible sale of property or utilization. So we sell those properties down the road, or is that consideration in our selling price?
We would normally look at it as if a party was coming to buy a piece of land and we'd done the geotechnical on it, then that's less cost to them. So therefore, one would think a higher price might ensue as a result of that, because if not, they would have to come and do such a geotechnical and environmental themselves. So there's a value proposition in it, in the overall potential. In some cases, though, you have parties proceeding with property they purchased from the town, and generally the need for geotechnical and or not geotechnical, the need for environmental gets waived because testing has been done in the general area, and that might very well mean that no environmental is required. So therefore,
What's the difference between geotech and environmental?
so geotechnical is the ability of the land to support the structure that's going to be built on.
Yeah.
On the environmental side, it could be contamination, it could be drainage, et cetera.
Okay.
Okay.
Say, comment that the 2 pieces of land that are being considered here are not NLHC encumbered, they're town owned.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have significant land that is NLHC encumbered, but these 2 particular pieces are not.
Okay, that makes it a little easier. The other thing too, when it comes to the advancement in our public works with our GIS, allows us to be able to understand what sometimes is in the substructures with water, sewer lines, anything that was left over. Because remember, there was a lot of as-builts that happened over time and changes happen, right? So I guess what we have is we have a motion, a recommendation from management to go ahead with some geotechnical on 2 parcels of land that is in play. interest to purchase. And while equipment and capacities in the region, it allows us to get it going.
So excuse my ignorance on that. I'm an accountant, not in that field. But gee, we got CNA up there, we got all these buildings up there and still require a geotech on that piece of property between?
Geotech. Yes. Because one, if you were an engineer and you were going to go forward with a build on a certain piece of property, you require geotechnical in order to go forward of exactly what is the soil, quality, compaction, drainage, all that becomes a part of that overall.
Yeah, I
So,
can see that, but that place being developed only is small piece compared to what's being used up there now with the college and SPCA and all the other buildings up the Dome.
If I might step, a piece of land in between has poor drainage.
that's that one.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the issue.
That's what you, okay, that's,
And I'm aware of that by talking to some engineers.
okay,
Okay. You know,
thank you.
so we'll need a mover to move.
I so move.
A question?
Can you, the wording of it, so it's,
Okay.
So I guess we got to get the wording clear on the motion that's recommended for management.
so what the motion would be that the council enter into a contract with Scrum Consulting to perform a combined geotechnical investigation and phase 2 ESA. The environmental.
On said parcels.
On parcels of land, one immediately adjacent or near the town hall.
Okay.
And the other between College and North Atlantic and the SPCA, that parcel there, exactly the details. We'll write into the,
Yeah, and this will come forward at our public meeting next Thursday as part of the special meeting.
Have to see.
no,
Right,
we, for us to proceed, and it is to the contract value of 39,500 plus HST. So for us to go forward and sign the contract, that's really what we need the approval to do. And this would be, and actually in either case, the land will be owned by the town. It's for town owned land.
So with clarity on the motion, we will require a member of council to move it. Second, if moved by Councilor Aylward. Second, Councilor Myra White. Any final question? All in favor?
All right,
Contramine? Motion carried. Okay. Is that the final?
That's it for that. I would like to be able to brief council, following this meeting on matters that are commercially, protected, so. In that part, we asked for just lay it out for council where we are.
While we're still in public session, I'd just like to bring up a couple of quick things that's current with us in our province today. And yesterday, management pulled together our fire department and they completed primarily a desktop exercise to determine the actions or heightened actions that we would have to take in the event of a forest fire or a grass fire. And due to the climate conditions that we're experiencing, we're in drought, we have very little rain. In the forecast, we should have 10 to 15 tomorrow night going into Friday, so that's a good thing. But so that's a good thing, and we identified what our requirements are, what are the assets, what are the organizations, because they can happen so fast. And I believe there's even some thunderstorm activity in the forecast. That's a big concern. It's starting to get some dry lightning. There's going to be fires everywhere because of dryness. So I want to thank management for getting that done, getting our town ready. The other thing I want to say is it was announced today, if anybody haven't heard, that all ATV, off-road, that's everything from dirt bikes to quads, side by sides, you name it, are not permitted in forest areas. So as you well know, Stephenville and the West Coast got probably the most, from Central West, we got more forest than Central East. But that takes in a lot of our areas, not permitted, and fines are being levied against people that are breaking the law. So I just want to let everybody know that we need to be cognizant, and we know how easy a fire can start, from a reflection from a piece of glass to lightning to a cigarette butt out the window. So everybody stay safe, keep an eye on your neighbors, keep an eye on your area. And the biggest thing the fire chief has said is when we get word, it's all about response time. The quicker you can get, lay down some fire protection to mitigate and put out that fire, it's gonna benefit our community. So I just want to say that before we call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I would offer my best to all the people that are fighting these fires on the Avalon. Because every time you turn around, it's in a different place. There was even a fire behind City Hall.
Yes.
So, as you know, there's a lot of people in this community that have relatives living in those areas. And I would wish them, all the best and thank the people that are helping out, because they've got people from all over the place, in the country. And Prime Minister Carney was on the phone to our premier, giving his assistance, saying that they will assist as well. So they're doing a great job of what they have. So considering that there's fires all over the country, but and you can caution people all you like. There's people out there that I don't know if they're not sensible or what they're doing, but they be going along and throw a cigarette out their window. And chip bag even is not safe to throw out the window. So you can preach all you like. Some people are not going to listen. So you just got to make sure that what you're doing, trying to be safe and keep it going and support the people on the Avalon as best we can. I was out of town for Stephenville Day, probably not very many I missed in all my years I've been here. And I guarantee you, I was into my granddaughter's wedding, so I could not stay back and go to Stephenville Day, but I trust it went well, Candace.
Yes, I think it was very successful, and they had a lot of different events this year, and a lot of fun was had by all. I think they even had a multi-day kind of a celebration leading up to Stephenville Day, and they had lots of different activities going on. So big shout out to our Marissa and her staff at the Recreation and Wellness Department.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear. And then I missed the beautiful event they had at the Garden of Hope at the hospital. And the people that were there, and I mean, I'm encouraging people to go look and see what's there. It's amazing, the flowers and oh my God, it's just so, they had food, they had music. I was there last year and it was absolutely wonderful. And that's done by volunteers too. And Leighton Power was a big corporate person that when we started that and helped us out a lot, with funding and stuff. So it's, and the two volunteers that, and I don't mind saying their names because Dave Kane and Rosie Keats that go every year and they take care of the garden. So there's a lot of work involved, but they get a lot of help from volunteers as well. So I want to congratulate them for another successful event this year. So it was great. When I saw the pictures, they had a really nice event. So do you want to move her for adjournment?
Yeah, can we ask somebody to move?
I so move.
Okay, moved by Councilor Hill, second by Councilor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. It is 12:33. Susan, do you want to stay? Oh.
Please stay on.